Ciao ragazzi, ciao guys. How are you today? Hope you're having a beautiful day. Jenny here today, all blue, together with my coffee cup. Today we're gonna dive deep into my collection and my collecting journey. We're gonna discuss my grails and overall tips, tricks, and direction in which we should bring our own wardrobes. We're gonna discuss a little bit of my history with things, what I would like to have collecting, what I've been collecting, and overall just like clothing, fashion, and all related to it. Let's have a cup of coffee together. Let's take a deep breath and let's enjoy. The idea for this video came because today I just picked up this beautiful, help me say beautiful, blue electric Stone Island sweater from 1997, if I'm not wrong. And I was just impressed by how like beautiful and bright the color is. And I was just like, damn, actually collecting is beautiful. Like once you get that piece, you have such a unique feeling, you know, because especially if it's something special, like you took your time to research it, something that's not available on the open market. I got a feeling that I used to get from clothing, you know, when I was maybe start building my wardrobe, you know, and I got my first pair of Converse. So overall, I just took a moment to reflect and on how beautiful and lucky we are, you know, for sharing this passion for clothing and overall being able to experience this happiness. So I'm just gonna prepare a list of the things that I like, that I've been collecting, that are my grails, active and future. And yeah, just tell you some stories. So let's get seated and let's go. So starting from this weather, I think that in regards of tops, so sweaters, knitwear, overshirts, etc., my biggest grail is overall Stone Island pieces from 1980 to 1990s to early 2000s. I think that bright color ones are so special, so unique, and you have to be lucky. For example, the one I'm wearing in such a pristine condition is because it has a mix of polyurethane and cotton. So of course, if this would have been just cotton, the overshirt would have just, you know, fallen into pieces or get maybe little bubbles and stuff. So you also have to be lucky. Also, sizing is an adventure because in my experience from like the 1990 onwards, the fit was very boxy, and then around 1998 gotten skinny again with the turn of the millennium. So it's also really interesting to see how, you know, different models, different material age. But anyways, I have a soft spot for Stone Island and also CB Company sometimes. This is from that era in bright colors, unique, bold zippers, bit of a wider construction, you know, and just like functionality to its finest. I love the fact that because it's such a grail, you can have things that are not on the internet, they have never been seen, they have never been pictured in, and yes, overall, I would say this is a generic category of grail. I really like the reds that have been done in this period and how they're faded. I also like, for example, hooded options. That's why I'm always on the lookout, and I'm so happy when I was able to score this one. Yeah, absolutely. Then, if we're talking shoes, I think that also shoes are an interesting part of grail collecting, because on one hand, of course, you should always consider and plan your outfit, or anyways finishing it off with a strong footwear shoe option. On the other hand, some people could tell you that, you know, it's a bit hard because you consume your shoes and, you know, they get dirty, they get broken, they get damaged, so why would you bother? I have two, let's say, main brands that I'm really into. One is 11 by BBS, so the collaboration of BBS with Salomon. They've been building up already for like at least 8 collections, these unique dyed and corroded pairs. It's a twist on standard white models from Salomon's. I really love them. I currently own a pair in burgundy. I like how unique they are, even if I have to say, in my personal pair, I noticed that the sole is cracking, and it's probably because the plastic, once it was dyed due to the temperature and over treatment, has become more fragile. Regardless, I really like the collab. I think that having that shoe that looks normal from far and feels normal and then has this unique history, it's really fantastic. I was also a huge fan of a video that Antoine, this is Antoine, his channel, made. He's the GOAT, but also he made a video about dyeing his shoes. So I think that these shoes, 11 by BBS in general, can be a great inspiration for every one of us, and to try and customize your clothing, you know, like try and dye, of course, being careful. And so this is my, let's say, sportswear inspiration, something that I'm always on the lookout for, especially for a good price. That's also the secret of grail, you know, like if you want to overpay, that's not fun. The other brand I'm always looking up to, let's say, is Guidi. Talk about Guidi, and I think Guidi is like the coolest Italian brand in terms of leather footwear. I love the boots. Pricing is a bit mad, you know, you're paying anything from 400 to 2,000 euros for a pair of boots. But I think that once you're sure the leather is the way to go, once you're sure that you really want to commit to it, you should absolutely do it. I only tried them twice in my life. I was in Milano, and my overall experience coming from outside was great. So again, those are the two categories brand I'm always looking for, and I would be grateful to own a pair of. This is an interesting point, maybe it's a hot take, but I don't like collecting teas. So of course, if I stumble upon a beautiful tea that has a meaning, like a rainforest tea, supporting your favorite magazine like Sabukaru tea, of course, I love buying teas, but I don't have an obsession for them, and that's merely because you always wash your teas, you're always wearing them, so like the rate of consumption and the fragility and overall the enjoyment you can get out of a tea, I think is lower. Maybe I'm misinformed and that's just my experience. I'm just saying, like, that's not what I'm into. Like, I love Jacobs, I love people collecting teas of bands, of rappers, of music, of culture. I think these are a beautiful, easy way to manifest, you know, whatever you're into and whatever made you as a person and your passion where you were growing up especially, but it's not my thing. So I see the passion, but that's not on my radar. Thank God, otherwise I would be even broker than I am right now. If you start talking about bag, there is one brand that's screaming for my attention, and that's Mr. Porter Yoshida. It's a beautiful Japanese accessories, leather bags, nylon bags. Like, it has such a beautiful history, starting from like the mid 1930s, going through the war, and then, you know, through international fame. It's still a family-owned company, which I found very incredible. And I love their bags. You can find some steals on secondary websites like Vinted, for example. And overall, the only issue is that it's really hard to source in Europe if you don't want like the basic nylon models. My favorite collaboration is the first collaboration they did with my neighbor Totoro. They did this overall range of like nylon green bags, pouches, shoulder bags, carry bags, but with this removable furry element that reminded again of the Neighborhood Totoro world. I absolutely love the heck out of this collab, and I really wanted to get them. Unfortunately, they were only available in Japan, and that meant import fees on overall a product that's already costly, let's say in between 300, 400, 500 or more euros. Nowadays, you can find the second collab on StockX, but that's not my favorite. They did a second interaction. But let's say, would I be a happy man if I got that bag? Probably yes, that's what I'm telling myself. So yeah, just look, if you don't know the brand, just look it up. Keep Collecting is an incredibly solid brand. Yeah, Mr. Porter Yoshida. If you're talking jackets, which again, we should, why not? You know, once the coffee starts kicking in with a beautiful, oh my God, look at me, I'm so matching. That's why I have a YouTube channel, people, because I'm a genius. Now, if you're talking jackets, let's savor the jacket to the last point. I have so many. I'm known in the industry for a person with a lot of jackets, but there's two jackets that are on my mind that I'm always looking up for, and I use them as a source of inspiration. The first is the Arcteryx per Beam collab. It's incredible the amount of fake ones you find everywhere, but I love both options, both the one with the different color panels and the one with the color straps. I think that speaks volume to the overall Arcteryx universe. I really hope that Gorpcore as a trend is dying down, and that in the future, let's say coming couple of years, we will be able to buy some nice Arcteryx without stressing too much. But again, that's absolutely a go-to. And coming back to my first point, I also really like this jacket from Stone Island. The material is called Formula Steel and has these beautiful pockets in the front. It's a bit similar to the overshirt I'm wearing right now. It's just like a stunning jacket. I actually owned it back in 2014 when I was young and broke, and then I sold it on Facebook Marketplace. So regrets. There is a red version of this one, which is insane, and also a green one, which I don't mind. So yeah, those are like, let's say, my biggest inspirations. Let me know in the comments instead what's your grail, if you liked, you know, any of the pieces, if you discover new brands, if the brands I talked about were boring. Let me know how much you like this overshirt, so I'm happier. And yeah, I mean, it was great having you. Thank you again for your time. Don't forget to follow me on YouTube. Don't forget to follow me on Vinted, Arcteryx, Charles like the king, Perix like Paris but with the X. And yeah, it was great to have you. So have a good one. I see a ray of sun, so I'm gonna leave the house. And love you. Bye.